Good day everyone. I am Stephen Rigor Mandin, a second year student from the Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Social Studies. And in this presentation, I will be discussing the different learning theories that can help in the integration process. So first is constructivism. It is a theory in education that recognizes learners construct new understanding and knowledge, integrating with what they already know. So this includes knowledge gained prior to entering school. It is based on the belief that learning occurs as learners are actively involved in the process of meaning and knowledge construction rather than passively receiving information. So the constructivist teaching fosters critical thinking and creates motivated and independent learners. So what is the role of the teacher in a constructivist classroom? A teacher acts as a facilitator of learning rather than an instructor. The primary responsibility of the teacher is to create a collaborative problem-solving environment where students become active participants in their own learning. The teacher makes sure that he or she understands the students' pre-existing conceptions and guides the activity to address them and then build on them. So there are four basic characteristics of constructivist classroom. So first is knowledge will be shared between the teachers and the students. Teachers and students will share authority. The teacher's role is one of a facilitator or guide. And last, learning groups will consist of small numbers of heterogeneous students. So next is the experiential learning. It is a philosophy and a methodology in which educators purposely engage with students in direct experience and focused reflection in order to increase knowledge, develop skills, and clarify values. So experiential learning is also referred to as learning through action, learning by doing, learning through experience, and learning through discovery and exploration. So David Cope provided the experiential process. So this process includes the integration of knowledge, activity, and reflection. So knowledge are the concepts, facts, and information acquired through formal learning and past experiences, while the activity are the application of knowledge to a real-world setting, while the reflections are the analysis and the synthesis of knowledge and activity to create knowledge. So the following are the example of experiential learning activities. It includes field trips, art projects, role-playing, reflection and journaling, science experiments, and interactive classroom game. So students can greatly benefit from experiential learning inside and outside the classroom. Through utilizing projects and experiences will help students learn more effectively and enjoy their learning experiences. So third is the multiple intelligence theory. So this theory supports the idea that each person possesses each intelligence to an extent, but there is always a primary or more dominant intelligence. It throws away the idea that intelligence is one sort of ability and argues that there are actually 9 types of intelligence. One is not important than the other, but some may help people succeed at different things. So Howard Gardner claims that all human beings have multiple intelligences. These multiple intelligences can be nurtured and strengthened or ignored and weakened. So the following are the 9 multiple intelligences. These are the verbal linguistic intelligence, mathematical logical intelligence, visual spatial intelligence, musical intelligence, bodily kinesthetic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, naturalistic, and existential intelligence. So the fourth theory is the situated learning. It was proposed by Jean Lave and Etienne Wenger as model of learning in a community of practice. It is a learning that takes place in the same context in which it is applied. Lave and Wenger argue that learning is a social process whereby knowledge is constructed. They suggest that such learning is situated in a specific context and embedded within a particular social and physical environment. So this theory believed that students acquire knowledge from observing others and practicing themselves, therefore becoming cognitive apprentice within the community. So the following are the examples that implies situated learning. So first is the cooperative internships that allow students to be immersed in the workplace. Another is field trips in which students can experience the work environment. And also laboratory settings where students actively participate in mock activities. Another example is the physical education and musical practices which offer an identical scenario to real-life events such as sports training and concert. As these examples demonstrate the learning occur in the situation, students build knowledge on their current understanding of the situation that relies heavily on the social and physical interactions. So the fifth theory is the social learning theory. It is the idea that humans learn from observing and imitating the behavior modeled by others. Bandura labeled this phenomenon as observational learning. For observational learning to occur, there does not necessarily need to be a live observation, like a real person modeling or demonstrating the behavior. It can also be taken place by observing characters, real or fictional, in movies, television programs, video games, and etc. It also occurs through verbal instruction or listening to someone describe or explain how something is done. So there are four elements to social learning theory. So first is attention. So children can't learn if they aren't focused on the task. So students who see something unique or different are more likely to focus on it, helping them to learn. Second is retention. People learn by internalizing information. We can then recall the information later when we want to respond to a situation in the same way which we saw. In order to learn from what we see, we have to retain that information. Next is reproduction. We reproduce our previously learned behavior or knowledge when it's required. Practicing our response in our head or in actions can improve the way we respond. And next is motivation. Motivation is required in order to do something. Usually, our motivations comes from seeing someone else be rewarded or punished for something they have done. This can motivate us to do or not to do the same thing. So the last theory is the cognitive learning theory. It is a theory used to explain the mental processes and how they are influenced by both internal and external factors in order to produce learning in an individual. So the cognitive learning theory is credited to educational psychologist Jean Piaget. He believed that knowledge is something that is actively constructed by learners based on their existing cognitive structures. So this style of learning is a powerful alternative to the traditional classroom approach. Instead of focusing on memorization, cognitive learning builds on past knowledge. Students learn to make connections and reflect on the material skills that help them become better learners. There are three factors of cognitive learning: comprehension, memory, and application. So comprehension. Building cognitive learning skills teaches students how to learn more effectively. Students learn to do more than to repeat what they have learned. They understand the why behind a topic and how it fits into a large picture. Second is memory. Cognitive learning helps students gain a deeper understanding of a subject. This improves recall in the long run, so students can build upon past knowledge. And last is application. So the cognitive learning approach gives students the chance to reflect on what they are learning and how it applies to other material. This helps students develop problem-solving skills they need to create new connections between what they are learning. So knowing these theories will really help the integration process. It also helps to meet the needs of the students in learning, especially in the integration process. I guess that's all for this presentation. Once again, I am Stephen Rigor Mandin, and thanks for watching.